What's happening, my friends? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. As always, my friends, family out there, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into yet another great episode here at here on the show. This is episode 306. That's right, 306. And I could not continue this drive without the support of you all. So I just want to again thank you, thank you, thank you. We're gonna give it to you a real, raw, unfiltered. Obviously, we're gonna entertain you, but we also want to inform you at the same time, keep you up to speed of what's happening right now in front of our eyes on social media, TV, and the news, you name it. Politics, pop culture, that's our realm here. But we also bring you great conversations. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. Was still, I wish I had more time, but I was honored to have on the host of the hit show Relationship Goats, hosted by the R&B star Lanique, as well as hip hop star Jay Skizzle. It is a awesome show. It's a show where R&B meets hip hop to talk about love, and I had such an awesome time. I hope y'all enjoyed that episode, and we're gonna continue to bring them on. You be sure to check out their show exclusively on the Goatverse TV network. So if you haven't, download the app. It's free. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, as well as Amazon Fire, as well, and Roku. You can also check out another show on there. Hint, hint, hint. Yeah, you can also check out your boy Arrington Gavin as we air episodes on their platform. So I'm really honored to be a part of that network and that family, and just again, I'm fortunate, man. Look, we drop new episodes Monday through Fridays, weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms. You can check us out on the streaming platforms of YouTube, Rumble, as well as I mentioned, Goatverse TV. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are more of a Rumble user, hey, subscribe to our Rumble channel on there. Look, we're everywhere. If you prefer to listen to us, then you can do so by listening to us wherever you get your podcasts. Whether that's Apple, Spotify, iHeart, we're on all major podcast platforms, and you can also listen to us uh, on the radio airwaves on variety of platforms, like our friends over in the Metro Atlanta area, WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. So again, and our show airs on their station out there Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to support. Okay. Also, do me a favor, if you are on social media, and if you are not, please get out of that rock that you live under. Everybody's on social media, right? So follow us on social media, on our social media platforms: Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Substack. We have great content on there. Obviously, it's hard to keep everything within 1 hour, so we try to do what we can here. And if I lose track of time, if I can't do it all within the show, I either take it to the next show or I put it out there on our social media platform. So be sure to support and follow us on those social media platforms. I truly appreciate it. Oh man, what else do I have am I forgetting? I think that's it. I think that's it. Look, you know what was on my heart I want to share with you also. My wife and I, we were out and about having a good time. Attended a happy hour at one of our go-to restaurants. Actually, a restaurant that we had our very first date, and we continue to go there. We're friends with the bartender, and we just have a great time. There it's never really packed, so we just can get in, sit at the bar, eat our meal, enjoy some good drinks. We have a great time. And on one of their happy hour menus, I mean, on their happy hour menu, they have an option of, say, one of their signature pizzas or a plain cheese pizza, and it brought back the thought process. I'm like, who just orders a plain cheese pizza? Like, even as a kid, I used to think people that just ordered just a plain cheese pizza was weird. I'm sorry. If you're that person that your favorite pizza is cheese pizza, that's a waste. That's, to me, that's a disrespecting the pizza industry. You have so many great toppings you can put on. You can look, you can keep it simple. Put on just one or two toppings. Put on just pepperonis. But cheese? Oh, I was like, why? You are so weird. As a kid, I'm like, man, over that pepperoni, man. Why is there even a debate? Man. Like, goodness gracious, plain cheese. It's like just plain. I'm like just cheese. Oh my gosh. So that was just on my heart. I wanted to share with y'all. Are you all, what are you team? Are you team toppings or just cheese? Just plain cheese pizza? I'm curious. I will make a clip on our social media and post that, because I'm just like flabbergasted. I'm appalled that folks still, and I'm talking not kids. I saw this grown man literally have a date to himself, which, hey, we all have it. Like, I know my wife and I, we have our alone times with each amongst, as individuals. We always have to have our time to ourselves, and whether that's treating yourself to a movie, whether that's going out and grabbing a drink to yourself, whether that's just going out in general, doing some, what do they call it, retail therapy. Okay, shopping, going to a shopping store or something. But this gentleman, he ordered, his entree, dessert, had a glass of wine. That man had himself a date to himself. And I'm like, is that joker eating just plain cheese pizza? I was like, anyways, let me, before I get sidetracked, y'all, I got to shout out some of our proud supporters of the program, like our friends Ingenious Gin. Shout out Ingenious Gin, Black owned, veteran owned spirit gin company. That is so delicious. Be sure to check them out in your local spirit stores, or you can go online at ingeniusgin.com. You have to be 21 or older to order. And do me a favor, my friends, please drink responsibly. Also, in addition to that, I want to shout out our some more supporters like Priority Ford. If you are looking for that go-to vehicle, whether it's an SUVs like the F-150 or the Ford Explorer, or any of their vehicles, I highly recommend Priority Ford. Do me a favor, go online to priorityford.com. Shout out James Church and his amazing team out there. They take good care of me as a Ford owner, right? And just so many great benefits and just great customer service. So I want to shout them out. And after that, who else I want to acknowledge? I want to acknowledge the Dapper Luke collection as well. Luke Haskett, better known as Dapper Luke, a talented individual as well as a man who served our country. He has a custom clothier company that benefits men and women. Okay. And he has created so many pieces of for myself, my wedding. He created my suit for my wedding, my tux for my wedding. He has a true knack when it comes to improving your appearance and your brand, because look, your appearance is a part of your brand. And like myself, I'm always attending certain functions or I'm hosting red carpets. I gotta look sharp, right? I gotta look cool. I gotta look sharp. So shout out to the Dapper Luke collection. All right, my friends, look, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more show for you. Don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Man, what is happening, y'all? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. I'm your host, your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Before we get going with some of our headlines, let's get it going with our fun fact of the day. You know, a tradition we love to do here on the show. Let me start it off for you. Guys, did y'all know denim jeans were originally workwear? All right. Denim jeans was originally workwear. So for all those that are always saying, man, I wish I could wear jeans all day. That's unprofessional. That's not work related. Please, you got to wear some khakis, formal wear, not business casual. Jeans are not business casual. Let me read you this. So Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis created denim jeans in 1873 as durable work pants for miners and laborers. Now they're a global fashion staple. Levi jeans. Y'all know them Levi jeans, they are a staple. But the difference, what I just read in that was the fact that, okay, for the labor workers, it was allowed, but was it allowed for corporate? You know what I mean? Why can't corporate? I guess when it comes to the culture in the corporate world and the culture in the labor worker world, to me, I feel as though that clothes is clothes. As long as you don't wear stuff that is extremely revealing, that shows, okay, you're trying to expose yourself in some. Okay, but if whatever you wear, I feel like all companies and corporations should be allowed to wear whatever the hell they want to wear, as long as they get the work done. Now, I'm not saying y'all folks need to show up in y'all freaking pajamas, all right? But I just think that you should be allowed to wear whatever you feel comfortable in. And if your work shows that, oh, you get the job done and we're still looking good with our numbers and whatever, you know what I mean? That's just me as a business owner. There is no dress code in my company. My employees, they rock whatever the hell they want to rock. That's just me. Yeah, so that was our fun fact. You're welcome. Let's move forward and get on to some of our headlines. So I don't know if y'all heard, but New York City Mayor Eric Adams had recently, had to clear my throat there. He was recently dismissed from his criminal charges case that was brought against him. I think the bribery charges, where he had allegedly had received some bribes from foreign business tycoons and officials from overseas. And so that kind of had a dark cloud hovering over his head the most. Like it extended so long. And also because I think what made it worse for him was the fact that so many folks in his team had either been caught doing something wrong or had resigned. Like so many people. I mean, the bam, 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 bam. FBI investigating this, FBI investigating that. It was like, okay, if everybody under you is getting this kind of heat, then guess what? It has to be leading all the way to the top, right? So let me go ahead and play you this quick soundbite from MSNBC as they reported about this case, and then I have another Eric Adams related news headline that I want to share with you all, and we'll talk about that. But let me go ahead and first play you the soundbite. Here we go.
5 minutes before the top of the hour, we have breaking news. A judge has dismissed the criminal corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams with prejudice, which means the Justice Department is barred from resurrecting the charges based on the same evidence. Joining us now, former litigator and MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. Lisa, what happened?
So Judge Dale Ho of the Southern District of New York doing what many people expected that he would do, which is to dismiss the case, but not in the way that the Department of Justice under President Trump asked him to, without prejudice, meaning they wanted to be able to have the option to resurrect these charges. Many people said that that was because they wanted to keep Eric Adams effectively under their thumb with respect to their immigration priorities. Today, Judge Dale Ho of the Southern District in a 78-page opinion, Mika, saying he's not going to do that. He will dismiss the case with prejudice, and he spells out that means the government may not bring the charges in the indictment against Mayor Adams in the future. He recognizes how unsatisfactory that's going to feel to some people, but he says under the rule under which the government brought this motion, he felt constrained. He had no option other than to either dismiss with prejudice or without. And given that he felt that the government's rationale for dismissing without prejudice was pretextual, he felt the most just thing to do was to make the case go away entirely and to shine a light on this process. Notably, he says in the opinion, the prosecutors involved in bringing this case did absolutely nothing wrong. There's zero evidence of wrongdoing on their part. That's important because the Department of Justice is in the middle of investigating them as well.
Man, let me tell you something. Your boy got off big time because here's the thing. There were moments where it showed Eric Adams, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's a registered Democrat, butter up. It was signs of him buttering up, and I don't even know if that's a term, but he was, kind of trying to be all goody two shoe to the Trump administration as well as Donald Trump. And they were saying, oh, it's methods to his madness, right? Because he got all these investigations left and right. He's like, look, let me get all, buddy with the, sitting president. And, he was scratching my back. But see, the border czar, I don't have his name off the top of my tongue, but there was a moment where it looked like Adams was like doing that, like trying to do that fake laugh, knowing damn well he's like, they got me right under their thumb, man. I can't do nothing around them. I gotta do everything they tell me to do, because again, when it comes to the migrant crisis, New York City has been one of the primary spots that has a migrant issue, right? Okay, so let me continue that conversation, which you just heard on. Okay, reported by the BBC says here that the Manhattan judge dismissed the case with prejudice, which means, as they mentioned in that soundbite, the Department of Justice cannot refile the charges against Adams based on the same evidence. Now, Adams was initially charged with conspiracy, fraud, soliciting illegal campaign contributions, and bribery. He had denied any wrongdoing. Now, in an indictment last September, Adams was alleged to have accepted gifts totaling more than $100,000 from Turkish citizens in exchange for favors. Now, in February, acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove, a Trump appointee, ordered New York prosecutors to drop the case against Adams. He argued the case restricted the mayor's ability to address illegal immigration and violent crimes, a key goal of the current administration. Now, Manhattan's top federal prosecutor, Danielle Sassam, had 6 other high-level justice officials resign over the order, saying that there was no legal justification to dismiss Adams' case. She also said in a letter to Bo's boss, Attorney General Pam Bondi, alleged that the mayor's team had offered what amount to quid pro quo, saying Adams would be able to help the administration policies only if the indictment was dismissed. Let's see here. I want to see if I want to continue reading you anything, because I think I've probably covered most of it. Yeah, I covered most of that. So in addition to this case, during this whole debacle, the Democratic Party, the elites, especially the folks in the New York City area, were not in supportive of Eric Adams. They were so, I mean, and really, Eric kind of brought it on himself. There were moments where he was saying stupid stuff. I mean, like addressing, what was it? Addressing folks like as Negroes for those who had didn't support him or was calling him out, and it was just like one that I shared it on this program. There was one local anchor that said, "Okay, who are you referring to as Negroes? Are you referring to white people too? Or you like?" It was so funny, and once again, it was just poor words brought from Eric Adams, and he has a bit of an arrogance, to him, right? He tries to be so laid back, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for a laid back politician, not the typical, oh, look straight, face forward, this and that, like be relatable, be real, don't fake it, for your for the votes. So yeah, he was being himself, but he found himself always in hot water. Now brought out the left, the Democratic Party, were not in support of Eric Adams, and a lot of folks wanted him to resign in his. This is just, I believe, his first year, his first term as mayor. They wanted him to resign, and it's like, okay, all right. I can see you saying, okay, he's not helping the Democratic Party right now, so he just needs to resign. Look, neither did the former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, out in Chicago. She did not help the Democratic Party either. She didn't. That's why she did not win she did not win re-election. But that doesn't mean you need to force somebody to resign. No. Let them do what they came to do and see how it goes in the next campaign. So the reason why I said I had another headline for you guys is because Eric Adams, as you know, he does have a this is ending his first term, so he's up for re-election. There has already been a list of names that has joined the fight to run for mayor of New York City. A majority of them are Democrats. Now you have Curtis Silva, who is a Republican nominee last election cycle that was going against Mayor Eric Adams. Curtis Silva is known for his he's a known radio personality. I would say iconic voice in the New York City area. He's on WABC, I believe. He's been on there for many years. He's also the founder of the Guardian Angels organization. So he was the closest that came to to beating Adams, but he was the Republican nominee. Now he's running again, right? Because he said, "Hey, I made it so close last time. Why not try it out?" But another name that entered in that race on the Democratic side, guess what? Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Yes, Andrew Cuomo. As you can recall, Andrew Cuomo was the oh so popular governor at the time. I think he was a second term, maybe third term. No, second. I forgot how many years he was in office. Maybe two-term governor. But he had resigned because there were allegations brought against him that eventually he was acquitted from, and so now he's making this political comeback. And right now he's leading that list of names that are entered into that race. So, and I spoke about it here on the program too. So it's like, what's the chances he might win? But here's the interesting thing. Adams is like, oh no, I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about any of them. Because he said this. Let me go ahead and play this video and I'll explain, and we'll talk on the other side.
I had hoped to fight for them again in the Democratic primary for mayor. And more than 25,000 New Yorkers signed my Democratic primary petition. But the dismissal of the bogus case against me dragged on too long, making it impossible to mount a primary campaign while these false accusations were held over me. But I'm not a quitter. I'm a New Yorker. And that is why today, although I am still a Democrat, I am announcing that I will forego the Democratic primary for mayor and appeal directly to all New Yorkers as an independent candidate in the general election. I firmly believe that this city is better served by truly independent leadership, not leaders pulled at by the extremists on the far left or the far right, but instead those rooted in the common middle, the place where the vast majority of New Yorkers are firmly planted.
You heard it there, folks. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, currently a registered Democrat, has announced that he will run as an independent. Something that you are starting to see happening across different cities and states within the United States. I read not too long ago about the mayor of Detroit. He's running for governor of Michigan as an independent. He's a registered Democrat, but he's running as an independent now. To kind of catch y'all up onto some stuff. So when it comes to elections, right? Most folks would say, they want to know what's their stronger chances on making it further within a race, right? Most races will have primaries, and then from primaries you have the general elections. So the primary will be, say if I'm running as a well, say you have a candidate, say you have 4 candidates that are all Democrats, say you have 4 candidates that are all Republicans. You have primary elections, meaning that you have to vote on at least one from each party. Once you have that winner, then you have your selected nominee in the general election. But the way the game works is, okay, it used to always be who can raise the most money, which it still is a big factor, because the more money you have, the more time you have to do ads, or attack ads, advertise your brand, your policies to cities, and I mean to your constituents, to your residents, to your voters. All that stuff takes money. Signage takes money. Reserve certain locations to do forums, to present yourself. That stuff costs money. And so obviously whoever can raise the most money, it benefits. But we have seen that regardless of how much money you spend, money doesn't win elections. It can win votes, but it doesn't win elections. And so Adams is saying, look, I already know how the Democrats feel about me. They've already pretty much said they're going to support Andrew Cuomo. Republicans sure as hell don't want me. Let me go ahead and run as an independent. Now, my big question is, what's his chances of succeeding as an independent? Now, he's always been critiqued or described as a moderate Democrat, somebody that has the D in front of their name, but yet sides a lot with the right. Could that help? Could that rear some of the public figures in the Republican Party as hey, we're gonna vote for him, we're gonna endorse him rather than a Curtis Siwa. Curtis Siwa is older. He has that kind of wise guy attitude. You know what I mean? Like, could we really support him? But are there still some Democrats that, hey, I can still back what's the gentleman's name? Eric Adams. I can still support him. It's fine. No worries. I can still I got he's fine. I still back him. He didn't do too bad. Now, see, the thing is, y'all, New York City is a hard city to please. Why? Because it's one of the wealthiest cities in the United States. If I'm not mistaken, it's either the first or second. The top 2 was Los Angeles, and the second, the other one was New York City. So I'm curious to see how do they think of Eric Adams? You know me, I'm an independent. I think he's right when it comes to people voting on the common middle rather than the extremists on the rights and on the lefts. But again, Mayor Adams, it's about the loyalty. It's about, hey, can we trust you? Hey, what have you done for us lately? So I think this is interesting. I think think it's a shocker? Yes, because the chances of independents winning elections is rare. But I would say after the the presidential race and a lot of other larger races, right, governor's races, senator races, you saw a growth in third party candidates because people are fed up with the right and the left. They're fed up with the Republicans and the Democrats. They're so tired of the back and forth, and folks are like, look, majority of us, if we sit down and have a conversation, we're probably going to agree on majority of stuff as independents rather than as a Democrat or as a Republican. So we will see. We will see, my friends. Let me go ahead and move it on. Let me move it on. Move it on. We're tired of talking about Mayor Eric Adams. What else do we got right here? What else do we got? Let's move it on to some sports. Right now, we'll come back to the politics. So, NBA star Ja Morant. I always call it Jay Morant. Ja Morant. The man just can't get his ish together. He is one of those most, in my opinion, one of the most hard-headed athletes of our generation. Because if you can't recall, there was a while back where he was seen playing with a gun on his social media, and that raised some eyebrows, saying, okay, he gotta be careful. He doing too much, right? Then there was actually, let me kind of backtrack his timeline if I can, so I give you a correct timeline. Let's see. Jay Morant. Let's see. Well, how can I word this? How can I word this? There we go. So let's see. Okay, so Instagram Live gun incident in March of 2023. He was suspended for 8 games after flashing a gun on Instagram Live at a nightclub while on a road trip. The NBA called his conduct irresponsible and reckless. Now, I'm pretty sure that was on a road trip from a game. Okay, I don't think that was just a vacation trip. I think that was I'm pretty sure that was after a game. But I will say, well, I'm not. I'll leave it at that. So May of 2023, same year, just 2 months later, Morant again appeared to flash a firearm on Instagram Live. This time in a car with a friend. This led to a 25-game suspension at the start of the 2023-2024 season. Look, people can always say, well, he's young, he this, he that. Look, that man has supervision. He has a father in his life. People have to let their kids know, especially if they know they're about to become a public figure at a very young age with so much money in their vicinity. You can't be doing stupid-ish like this. This dude flashed a gun. Why people? First, I've talked about it many times here. I don't understand the gun culture in America. I don't know why it's so freaking popular. Why it raises so well. I have some ideas, but I just don't understand. Like, why, y'all? Why? Why do you want to have this persona as like the Rambo, the hardcore? Like, hey, it's gangsters. It's cool having all these guns. Yeah. Man, why? Why? You have the opportunity to make so much money, to be a leader in your community, to be a great role model to folks. Why do stupid stuff like this? I don't understand. So right there, that was just in 1 year. Now in July, let's see, July of 2022, alleged assault of a teenager. Morant was accused of punching a 17-year-old multiple times during a pickup game at his home. let's see. Then later, summer of 2022, mall incident involving a security guard allegedly confronted a mall security guard after Morant's mother got into a dispute. Okay, so they're just going over a lot of stuff. Laser incident involving Indiana Pacers, January of 2023. And then we go to the whole gesture of the gun. He's always making these signals of like he got a gun, this and that and the other, like, you know, doing this towards, and it's just like, bro, why do you continue to just like piss people off? So reason why I brought this up is because, as you see right there, he had been fined $75,000 for twice making an inappropriate gesture on the playing court. Now, I commend the NBA for sticking strong on their rules and their core values, because they know you just can't ever be aware. People can say, oh, he just messing around. Do you know? There's been incidents of professional athletes getting involved in illegal acts, whether if it was armed robbery, assault, gun violence, as you know, as serious as murder. I mean, we've heard the worst of the worst. As I read this through, reported by NBC News, says here, Morant was previously warned by the league official that his gesture could be interpreted in a negative light. Morant made the celebratory gesture throughout the recent game, battling with in a battle, the Grizzlies won 110 to 108 after Morant hit the game-winning basket buzzer beater in the last second. Now, the NBA investigated Morant earlier during the week when he and the Golden State Warriors, Buddy Hield, used the finger gun motion towards each other at the end of the game, which ended with a Warriors win of 134 to 125. Right? All right. Both players of the team issued warnings by the NBA with no penalties, according to ESPN's Shames Coronadia. The league determined the celebrations were not violent in nature, but inappropriate and not to be used further. Again, I commend the NBA for keeping these folks accountable. All right. Thank you for keeping these folks accountable. Because this right here, it got to end, man. It got to end. We can't continue to see these talented brothers doing stupid stuff, ruining their careers off of stupid stuff. It doesn't make you a tough guy, Jay. It doesn't improve your game. You are a talented guy. You don't got to do that stuff. Some folks look at you as a leader, but in my opinion, I look at you as a fool. Oh, okay. I look at you as a pure T fool. You have this great opportunity to do this. I'm sorry. I don't like, this is childish. This is childish, and it needs to end. You get one once, but see, that's what happens when you give all this, these young hotheads all that power. There needs to be some form of leadership to say, no, look, you gotta nip this in the bud. I'm just saying, look at guys like Antonio Brown. You see how that ended up? Can't tell him nothing. Can't tell him nothing. And he was a talented player. He doesn't play in the league anymore, but it's like, it's just stupid stuff, man. It's just stupid stuff. Oh, goodness gracious. I need to take a break after that one, man. That wore me out. My friends, look, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. What happening? Welcome back to the show. So next up, I want to stay in sports for a little bit. With our Black Excellence Report, I'm going to honor this gentleman with the Black Excellence Report. NFL star, defensive tackle for the New Orleans Saints. The gentleman's name is Colin Sanders. All right, Colin Sanders. He is hosting. He is hosting a youth football camp, but it's not just any other youth football camp. This one has a very positive message to it. He is hosting a LGBTQ friendly youth camp. Says football is for all. This is a image I've posted. I have shared here for those who are watching, with him and his brother, a professional dancer known for performing with Taylor Swift. He's saying, look, I support, but it's also showing up. It's also showing up. I'm going to tell you why I stand with this brother. Because this is a straight black man that is risking, I won't even say risking. Well, I will say that. He's risking his brand to support an important cause. We still live in a society, y'all, where folks are not treated as equal. All right. I'll I've shared it many times here. I support rights for all folks, right? I support same-sex marriage. Love who you want to love. I have the opportunity to MC at a local pride function here, and one of my good friends, Jeremy Rodden, who is he works with the organization Pride in the Peak. It's a positive and it's an important organization. We always have to support our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ plus community, because there's folks out there losing their lives off of discrimination. There's folks out there getting killed. There's folks out there that are being discriminated because of who they love. I mean, come on now. You got to remember, at one point, blacks and whites, there was no interracial relationship. You have to remember that was a moment where that was shunned upon. So right here, this gentleman is making an impact because he was explaining that there are folks in the LGBTQ community that is scared to even play professional football or pursue it, but that loves the sport because they know that it's a male kind of man's man dominant, right? Predominantly straight males. So how many times have we heard of the first openly gay player? I think the first openly gay player that was drafted was Michael Sam, but that career did not last long. There was men that had played 7+ years that came out after retirement saying, hey, look, because they knew that, it might hurt their brand. In the NBA, same way. Jason Collins, he played 14, 15 years until he came out. So let me read you a little bit about this report by People Magazine. It says here that the Saints star is on a mission to make football more welcoming, starting with the LGBTQ friendly youth football camp happening this summer. Now, 28-year-old Colleen Saunders made the announcement on stage during the 2025 GLAAD Media Awards and spoke about the initiatives during the appearance on the NFL Network's Good Morning Football, where the Super Bowl champion said football is for all. He also said that being an ally is more than just saying I support, but it's also showing up. Being in the NFL is very male dominant and heterosexual dominant, and it feels as though there's not really a space for the LGBTQ community. His brother, as I mentioned, Cameron Saunders, is a backup dancer for Taylor Swift, said he's proud to partner with GLAAD and the NFL Pride Football Combine to make football more inclusive. One of the pillars of his original Element Foundation. Says here that these are people who feel like they have been too hidden, although they might love the sport. They might love the NFL. They might love football in general as a sport, but they kind of shy away from it because of the orientation or all these kind of outside things. And he's absolutely right, y'all. He's absolutely right, because when I was reading this story, I'm reading the comments saying, oh my gosh, now we're going to be now we gotta make an impact and change it up all for the 1% and this, that, and the other, and that. Like right then and there is the issue. Why do y'all have what's what's the point? Why are y'all having an issue of who they love? Can they contribute? Right? Can they contribute in the executive office? Right? Can they contribute on the field as a coach? Can they contribute? Yeah, on the sideline as a coach? Can they contribute on the field as a player? Why is it a big issue of who they love? Folks just like to be bitter and just ignorant, just to be ignorant and complain. Y'all exist. Yeah, I'm calling y'all out. Y'all like to just complain about everything, and y'all just need to just back off. All right, because a lot of y'all that complain, y'all probably got some secrets. Okay, I'm just saying, people that always criticize, it's like, what is the deal? Why does it upset you so much that the league is growing on a progressive moving forward kind of thing, a progress issue, inclusiveness, equality for all? Why is that such a big issue? I don't understand. Maybe I do, but why is that a big deal? I just want to shout our Black Excellence Report to NFL star, New Orleans Saints defensive tackle Colleen Saunders, for making this huge initiative and bridging this gap between the LGBTQ community as well as the NFL. Look, again, a straight man said, no, we got to do something. We have to do something. And I want to commend him for that, because he's affecting his brand, his career, to say, hey, look, we got to come together on this one, man. So shout out to him. Let me look at my time. I got about a little less than 15 minutes. Next up, let me share this. Ooh, let me see. Do I have time? Oh, this. Let's talk about. Oh, this is hard. I don't know which one I want to give to you within this time. Let's talk about this, because this is pretty big news. So let me talk about this. Okay, so comedian Russell Brand. I know this. It's always hard to see which one I want to choose, man. Comedian Russell Brand, comedian, actor, with a podcaster, right? He recently has been charged on some pretty serious crimes. He's been accused of rape and sexual assault. Now this is a British police had charged because he's really from the UK. But we all remember Russell Brand. Let me give you a little background on who this gentleman is. Russell Brand, English comedian, actor, podcaster, media personality. He established himself as a stand-up comedian and radio host before becoming a film actor. After beginning his career as a comedian, he later becoming an MTV presenter in the UK. And in 2004, he hosted the television show Big Brother's Big Mouth and Big Brother spinoffs. I remember seeing him on the Forgetting Sarah Marshall movie, Get Him to the Greek. I don't remember author, and I never saw Rock of Ages, but I remember he hosted I think one of the VMAs or MTV. Matter of fact, he hosted the award show where Kanye West got on stage and said, no, nothing against you, Taylor Swift, but look, y'all, Beyonce had the best album of all times. Oh my gosh. Do y'all remember that? That's vintage. That was vintage Kanye right there, acting a fool back when he was still with Amber Rose. That thing was some kind of funny. He said, Taylor Swift, I'm sorry, look, you do your thing over there, but Beyonce had the #1 album of all time right here, #1 of the year. And I'm just like, wow, this guy. That was when the start of a downhill spiral happened for Kanye. But yeah, Russell Brand, very popular guy. It was at one point he was really at the top of the Hollywood totem pole. He was married for just a few years to Katy Perry, and since then he's been this unfiltered guy, speaking against the anti, he's anti-establishment, he's anti-woke, he's anti-this, he's pro-Trump, he's pro, like, he's very interesting. And it's funny because there was an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast where they both were laughing, saying people are questioning if we're liberal. And I'm like, I don't think it's a question of y'all liberal or not. It's a question of if y'all sane or not. Okay, like y'all be acting a little iffy sometimes. He currently hosts a podcast called what is this current podcast called? Is this the current one? Let me see. Is this it? I'm not. I guess I know he's a podcast, right? I guess his podcast called Under the Skin with Russell Brand. And so he is exclusively with because he got banned, I believe, from YouTube, but he's exclusively on Rumble, which, you know, hey, you can tune to his content if you want to, but after you watch mine on Rumble, thank you very much. And see, Rumble is a platform that you know, kind of welcomes a lot of the folks that either got canned from another platform or yeah, they have like no regulations kind of thing. But Russell Brand has you know, he has since then grown a huge platform through that. He talks, you know, regular, you know, mostly politics, conspiracy theories, kind of stuff like that. He has a following. Let me finish off by saying that's just a little background about himself. Now let me read you more about the article, right? So reported by multiple outlets, but I'm going to be reading this from the Associated Press. That said, British police charged comedian Russell Brand with rape and sexual assault. Says here that the British police recently charged Russell Brand with rape and sexual assault following an 18-month investigation sparked with four women alleged that they had been assaulted by the controversial comedian. Now, the London's Metropolitan Police Force said Brand, who's 50 years old, well, Wikipedia said 40, this one says 50, faces one count of rape, one of indecent assault, one of oral rape, and two of sexual assault. Now, he has denied the engaging in a non-sexual sexual activity. The alleged offenses involved four women that took place between 1999 and 2005. One of the English seaside town of Bournemouth, and the other three in Westminster area of central London. Let me pause that. Let me share you a quick response video that Russell Brand has shared on his social media. Let me go ahead and find that for you all. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that playing for you real quick. There we go.
Hello. Firstly, thank you for these incredible and overwhelming messages of support. We're very fortunate in a way to live in a time where there's so little trust in the British government. We're very fortunate, I suppose, that this is happening at a time where we know that the law has become a kind of weapon to be used against people, institutions, and sometimes entire nations that will not accept and tolerate levels of corruption that are unprecedented. I'm speaking particularly to those of you that are watching this in the UK. How do you feel about your legal system right now? How do you feel about some of the high-profile cases that are not being pursued and prosecuted? How do you feel that the Southport murders were handled? How do you feel about the government of Keir Starmer? Now, that's just sort of general context. Me, I've always told you guys that when I was young and single, before I had my wife and family, who were just out of shot over there, my beautiful children, I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a rapist. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes. I want to thank all of you for your continuing support. I want to let you know that our show will be on Rumble on Monday. Thanks for your support there. And of course, I'm now going to have the opportunity to defend these charges in court, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. In the meantime, you lot, stay free. And we will be continuing to discuss this matter. Praise the Lord.
So, you see how he said, praise the Lord. Praise him. Gotta praise that Lord. Yes, he has turned his life around. He has, you know, he's born again Christian. He's this man that's also faithful now. And look, he probably is. Look, he has admitted that he has you know, he had an addiction problem in the past, and to my knowledge, he is has been sober for some years. I don't keep tabs with Russell Brand, but hey, that's cool and all. These are very serious allegations. What he said right there, he had criticized the law enforcement, the government back in the UK area. Like, again, it goes back to the blaming game. Like, see, they're doing this, they're doing that, all the corruption, this and then the other. This is not true. Now, look, I was a fool back then, but I was no rapist. And at the end of the day, hey, look, you're innocent until proven guilty. This will all be, settled in the court of law. We will see. We will continue to read up on this and move forward, and just keep tabs on this. He is. It's another person that is a somewhat of a MAGA hero, right? Because he was very much of a pro Trump. He's spoken on so many far right outlets and whatnot, and I don't know. Look, we will continue to follow up. I've never been a Russell Brand fan, so I'm not going to be biased and say, he did it. No, I'm not going to say that. Because, like I said, everybody has their time in court. You're innocent until proven guilty. These are all allegations. And so we will see what this goes. I might tune into some of his episodes or hear his response on this on his program. Obviously he's going to continue to deny it all. That's what I'm assuming when you're accused of that, that he he's going to continue to speak his innocence. But we will see. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I got about less than 3 minutes, guys, left into the show. What I will share with you all is that the Arrington Gavin show is growing. That's what I want to share with these last few minutes I have with you. The show is growing. I have a lot of great news that will be coming forth with you hopefully very soon. We are I just again want to thank you all for supporting. Please do me a favor, if you haven't, follow us on all social media platforms. There's multiple ways you can tune to the program. You can tune to us on all digital and streaming platforms, YouTube, Rumble, Goatverse TV app. Download that app. Please download that app today on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. So many amazing programs and shows on there, like myself and others. Please support independent media. Also, you can listen to us on a variety of podcast platforms. I truly appreciate that, my friends. And y'all just be easy. Out there. Stay safe, save, because stuff is going to get expensive now. It's going to get expensive. I'll talk a little more about Trump's tariffs on the next show, because I didn't have the time to speak on it here, but we gonna talk about it, because here's the interesting thing is a lot of his supporters are now criticizing him. They're frustrated with the tariffs. Why? Because they're starting to see effects being brought to them, which they didn't expect that. Oh, wow, I thought this wasn't going to affect me. I thought it was going to affect the other people. Why is it affecting me? Yeah. Anyway, y'all, we'll talk a little more about this on the show. But until then, y'all continue to support the Arrington Gavin show. We drop new episodes Monday through Fridays, weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Substack. Peace and blessings. Y'all stay safe out there. I got to go. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm out.